So hi, Welcome to this podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
A happy Monday.
Happy goddamn fucking Monday, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on. Fuck yeah. We're so back doing.
We're so back.
Yeah, we're so back to the Monday grind. So Glory and I, we were talking about our schedule right before this, and we're doing the Monday thing.
We're doing it still.
We're doing it. We're doing
5
it.
years in the making.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah. We're keeping the Monday thing. No pre-records. None of this recording the podcast on a Thursday.
I don't want to say pussy shit on here.
None of this bullshit. None of this clownery.
Bull crap, bro. Like, whatever, man. Whatever.
None of the clownery that was going on there for a handful of weeks. Yeah,
we're like digging this joke into the fucking ground. Like, this is not funny anymore. Anyways,
I think it's hilarious. But yeah, anyways, we're so back. We're still doing the live thing. We'll keep doing the live thing. This will be the last week that we say we're doing the live thing. I'll figure out something else to say. Feeling the Monday vibes today. Excruciatingly hard. I was out last night. Got to bed late. Got up early. I felt like Glory getting up, except I got up a few hours later than she probably did. But I felt like it.
You got up at what time?
7:45.
Yeah.
Well, my alarm went off at 7:45, and then I snoozed it, and I snoozed it again, and then it finally went off at 8, and I was like, oh, I remembered what we had to do this morning, and I was like, shit, and I
don't understand.
Started to wake up.
Yeah, then you start thinking about waking up. You're like, I should probably like start that process. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, no, I was up at 5:30.
Yeah, because I wanted to go back to bed, but like I've overslept a couple of things before. I texted Gloria and been like, dude, like we're gonna have to. You got to give me 30 minutes.
Dude, I just woke up.
I was like, you're gonna have to give me 30 minutes, and you're gonna have to carry this. But it's always been, podcasts like what we're doing right now. But this morning I couldn't let that happen. So as much as I wanted to go back to Shut Eye, I was here.
To me though.
Yeah. I'm here. I made it. So this past weekend I went to a couple of gigs. Saturday night I saw Set It Off from Ashes to New Year's Day, and If Not For Me at the Wellmont Theater in Montclair. I mean, made the drive up there, won a couple of giveaways, so that's what got me in the door for this one, which is always fucking dope. Free show. I always appreciate that. If Not For Me was first. It was super rad to finally see them. We had them on the podcast earlier this year with their record, and it was I really dug that record, and I was stoked to finally see them. Technically their first full US, which is very exciting. They've been doing they were doing like some smaller tours in the summer post the record coming out, but this finally made its way to Jersey, so that was huge incentive to go, and they fucking rocked. Played only stuff off the new record, but that's fine because that's really all I know from their discography. Made it easy.
Congrats.
Yeah. And then New Year's Day came on. First time seeing them this year. Caught them last year on the Kiss of Death tour. They were better this time, which is good.
They were better.
They were better this time.
Girl.
One thing I will note, man, like I don't mind a backing track. I don't mind that shit, but it is so blaringly obvious that she is not doing the screams. Vampire, which was the first song they played, there's that big scream towards the end of the song, several decibels louder than the entire rest of the band. It came blaring through the sound system. That was
just her voice. She was just projecting like that hard.
Yeah, it was so glaringly obvious that I was like, shit. But that kind of, like that scream and the way it is performed, at least on the record, I'm like, fine, give her a pass. And then I noticed it, although it wasn't as noticeable in the mix this time. The the tracks were better mixed together this time. I thought it was still obvious what was going on stage. And listen, the performance was better this time. I thought that the band just sounded better. I thought that there was less lip syncing moments, at least that I picked up on this time around, which I respected. And she got rid of that goddamn stupid staircase that she would stand on.
Staircase, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah. So like there was actually like moving around the stage and whatnot, and not just the other band members, but also Ash moving around. And the band just seemed a little bit more into it this time in general. So yeah, I thought the performance overall was better. But yeah, I can't get past how blaringly obvious the vampire lip sync was, and then the fact that the crowd cheered afterwards made me want to throw up a little bit. But it's all right. Not the worst I've ever seen of them. It was quite frankly probably the best I've seen New Year's Day perform. And I've seen them a handful of times now. So yeah, take what I can get. They played a bunch of new tracks off their new record that came out in March, and a couple of tracks off their last album. So yeah, I thought overall, and their Gangsta cover, which
look at them.
was an odd pick. I wasn't sure what that was about, but you know, it's okay. Like. Yeah,
it's kind of all right. Well, that was it.
It was a weird mishmash of songs on the set list, but they played a lot of the new record, which was cool. From Ashes to New came out after them. That band, bro, it has been a couple of years since I've last seen them. I saw them at the tail end of their last album cycle, and now finally gotten to catch them a year into this new album cycle where they have quite literally supported in arenas. That band puts on an arena level show. It is fucking bonkers. The stage performance and the stage show and the production and everything and how tight they are as a band is just fucking incredible. Was an absolutely insane set, and made me be like, why didn't I spend more time with that record? Because they also played a good chunk of their new album. That was kind of the theme for the support bands. Everyone was playing a good chunk of their new stuff.
My kind of tour.
Yeah
Genuinely, I ask for that every time, and it's always like, we're gonna play stuff from our old I don't give a fuck.
Like they'll play one or two singles and then they'll play the hits, and like
exactly.
Yes, all of these bands were obviously playing mainly the singles off the new record, but I would rather hear the singles off the new record than the hits when you only have 30 minutes, especially if I've seen you multiple times, which everyone on this package, except if not for me, I've seen at least once. So it's like I already got the greatest hit set, probably. Like, let's
done that, guys.
Yeah. And of course, if not, From Ashes to New had a little bit of a longer set, so they had time to play some of their set list staples that have continued on and on for years, and that's fine. But they played, especially at the front half of the set, it was like all new stuff, and I was into it. So that was cool. But yeah, they were probably the best set of the night. Hard to compete with. But and then set it off. The band of the night, they came out, ripped all of their new singles as well, again keeping up with the theme of making sure to hit on all of your new stuff. That was what this tour package was about. Probably the best I've seen from them as well, mainly because the only crowd interaction was not put your hands up and then making everybody wave their hands for fucking half of the goddamn
they left that
songs.
Like two eras ago.
They left that in the Elsewhere era. They threw that shit out.
Thank God.
Which was good. I was glad because I was like, I'm never gonna see this band again. My arms fucking hurt.
No, you were sad and you were crying when it came to the end of the set because you were like, "Fuck, I didn't get to put my hands up. What's going on here, guys?" I know you were.
I was so upset. But yeah, they were cool. It was cool to because I was like, are these From Ashes to New fans? Because there was clearly a good chunk of From Ashes to New fans at the show. I was like, are they actually going to stick around, even though they're both being played on Octane? It's like From Ashes to New is one kind of heavy. Set It Off. The new stuff, yes, has some heavy moments, but they're also obviously playing a good chunk of old stuff. They're headlining. They're not playing for 40 minutes. And the people stuck around. The people that were there for the whole show, which was cool. You know, the set list was a little bit more eclectic than previous times I've seen them, where it was some songs that I wouldn't have expected them to pick out of the back catalog. They also played Partners in Crime because obviously New Year's Day was on the tour package and Ash is on that song, so they were able to do that together. That's
so fun. I love when bands do that.
Yeah, overall I thought that it was a pretty awesome show. Glad I got to go. Pretty sick tour package. All of the bands, you know, the ones that I've seen put on the best performances I had seen from them. So yeah, overall, pretty solid show. And then last night, I was in New York City. I saw Lorna Shore, Whitechapel, Kubla Khan, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
Let me look at it, and I'll sound it out.
Yeah, sang you Lizabog. I got no idea.
That sounds close.
Yeah.
Let me see. It is
Bog.
Oh, the last thing on our story is Kubla Khan. You know what? Whatever you said is perfect, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Bog. Sang you is a Bog. That's the best I can do without sitting here for 20 minutes and trying to figure out how to pronounce it. They were first of the night, and they were pretty fucking awesome. This entire and I'll touch on this, or I guess I'll just touch on it now. I was going to bring it up when I talked about Lorna Shore. I've always been a fan of Lorna Shore, but I don't always go out of my way to see them because I'm very selective with the kind of deathcore and death metal that I'm into.
Fair, yeah.
And you know, it's not my favorite genre. I like Lorna Shore. I like a couple of bands that they associate with, but overall, it's not the thing that I go out of my way to listen to. So I will catch them occasionally. I don't go out of my way to catch every single tour, because when the support bands are a bunch of heavy ass shit, it does kind of start to be like, okay, when the fuck are they gonna hit? But this was hands down, this was their biggest headliner and also their best tour package that I've seen them have while I was following them. It was eclectic, where you had like some more like deathcore from Whitechapel, you had hardcore from Kubla Khan, and then you know the Bog, death metal.
I looked at the name. I can't pronounce it either. I'm gonna be so real. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Bog.
And all of the bands also have hype in their own sort of way. I remember when
they're popping.
Yeah, they were all popping. Obviously, Whitechapel has been doing it a long time, but they're a staple in the genre. So overall, the best tour package they've had. The most excited I've been to see Lorna Shore, because I was excited to see all the bands on the bill as well, because I had seen all of their names popping around at some point, whether it be this year with a new record or just knowing that they're a staple like Whitechapel. So. Bog, I'm sorry, I still can't pronounce the name. Nothing has changed.
Let me give it a go. Okay, it is Sangusig Gabog.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Bog was the first band of the night. It was pretty fucking dope. They got the crowd moving instantly, which was also super cool to see. The crowd was super into every single band, but they were like really, really into the support bands, which I thought was fucking rad. The crowd was moving.
Great, yeah.
They did a part of their set which was called Death Football, which was they threw a Nerf football into the crowd, and whoever had it at the end of the night, at the end of their set, got whatever they wanted for free, like one free merch item from the merch table.
That's fucking awesome.
So I watched them throw it into the crowd, and the guy that caught it immediately got tackled to the ground. It's not that serious. Immediately got body slammed into the ground.
Guys, it's like $40. It's not that serious. It's not worth your life.
I watched multiple like dog piles happen on people, and then I watched someone get the football again, and this dude came out of fucking nowhere and just trucked him into the crowd.
You should have gotten in there, man. You could have gotten free merch.
I was in the second balcony.
That's when you jump.
Yeah,
on top of the person who has the football.
I was watching from above what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was
bird's eye view.
It was wild. I'm so glad I'm not down there. But they put on a cool show. The second band of the night, Kubla Khan. I get it now. I got the band. I understood the band, but I watched the hype happen before my very fucking eyes. They played. Obviously, they came out. They played the first song off the record where they say like it's like, what does Kubla Khan mean? And then like they say king, and it kicks in. And then
that shit's so god, that shit's so hard.
They played the second song on the record, Supreme Ruler, which is the Monkey See, Monkey Do song. That's what was posted, what was posted on our story was Swan Song. I posted the Supreme Ruler bit on my personal story. Dude, the entire fucking venue screamed those words back at the band, and
that's
I was
so
like,
fucking cool.
Like, I knew people were into the band. I knew people would be excited. I knew people were there for them. They were not headlining that fucking room, and they had every single person in that pit moving, and every single person in the room yelling those words back at them. And I think that right there, like, made me understand why the band has gotten so big. And it's like, obviously it's hardcore at its core, but it has so many of those big, like, I guess in a way, like anthemic moments where it's just like the moment in the set. And they have multiple of those throughout their set and throughout their discography. Another one was obviously Swan Song, and then they have Ant Pile and Ant Pile 2. Which,
I was waiting for Ant Pile 2.
Yeah. Which were another couple of moments in the set. So overall they were fucking insane. I am very excited to see them again at the end of this week. But yeah, that was wild. And then like it was almost like hard to follow that up because of how into the crowd they were for that band.
That's
like how
tough.
So Whitechapel, the floor got a little bit more dense, so the pits weren't as big, for Whitechapel and Lorna Shore, just because of the sheer amount of people on the floor by that point. But the crowd was into Whitechapel, but again, it's hard to feel like they were as into it when I just watched what the fuck happened for Kubla Khan. It was also a hell of a lot darker in the venue for Whitechapel and Lorna Shore because they brought their own lighting and stopped using as much of the house lighting. So Whitechapel was fucking awesome. It was cool to finally see them. Have obviously heard their name a bunch, so it was cool to check them off the bucket list. They put on a good show. They played their newest song, which was cool. And then Lorna Shore comes out. They have fucking fire. They got fireworks. They have insane lighting. I was like, what the fuck? I saw this band a couple years ago when they put that EP out that, blew them the fuck up in a 450 cap venue with like no lighting rig, no nothing. They just showed up, they played their instruments, and they got off the stage. Now they have fire and they're lighting off fireworks in a fucking ballroom. What the fuck is going on?
What's happened?
It was so fucking
What's happened
badass.
to real deathcore?
No,
guy?
it was so fucking badass.
It's really cool.
They played their new record, Pain Remains in Full. This is like the final send off for the album.
Pain Remains is dead.
Yes,
is what they should have said it then. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. Keep going.
No, it's okay. They're sending it off with this tour. They've been touring the record for a couple years, so they played it in full. It was fucking badass. It was so fucking cool. They fucking rip live, and then they closed off with To the Hellfire, which was just so fucking just sealed the night off. Yeah, they are. Since I have these gaps in where I see them, the first time I saw them 450 cap club, the second time it was also in a theater. It was where I just set it off, and they had some production, but it was a Christmas show, and they had like 6 bands on the bill, and I'm not even sure if it was 100% sold out. It was like their biggest Jersey headliner to date. And now to see them fully sold out at Hammerstein Ballroom with full-blown production, it's like I missed a lot of fucking chapters in that time, but super fucking cool to see that they're not just doing it in their home state, because obviously that show did very well. I can't remember if it was 100% sold out or if it was very, very close, because it was right around the holidays, which is always a tough time for shows. It was a couple days before Christmas, but to see them in a ballroom theater again, fully sold out, full blown production, fire, crazy lights, it was wild and so insanely deserved. The rise of that band has been awesome, and they were another one, kind of like From Ashes to New, watching them just being like, this is gonna be in an arena one day. And I'm almost hoping that they do a Christmas show and that the room gets bigger again and they move on to, like, you know, I don't know what the next step here is in Jersey, but they did Starland Ballroom last year with Currents, and I was so bummed I couldn't be there. Let's make the room even bigger this year.
Bring Currents back.
Yeah, and bring Currents back, because I'll be there. I am free around the holidays this year.
Currents, if you're free, Shane's free.
Yes, exactly. Pretty much.
Set you up.
Yeah, so that was my weekend. Coming up tomorrow, I'm going to see Dying Wish and Pain of Truth. That should be fun, although hardcore show on the floor scares me a little bit. I will be okay. I will be standing there like this so no one can hit my face.
Guys, stop
please don't hit me. I won't be watching the show. I'll be ducking. And then Thursday and Friday I got Motionless in White in Scranton, seeing Reincarnate in full, different support each night. Night one is The Devil Wears Prada, Silent Planet, See You Space Cowboy, and Like Moths to Flames. The second night is Fit for a King, Kubla Khan, Scene Queen, and Dark Divine, which should be a good time. And then the Sunday after I get home, I will be going to the Devil Wears Prada tour, which is that support bill on the first night of the Motionless tour, plus Greyhaven, who sadly is not going to be on the Motionless show, and Glory will be attending that tour later that week, which is very fun.
I'm so fucking excited. I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit when fucking Silent Planet comes on stage. Fucking Garrett's going to show his beautiful locks on stage, and I'm going to lose my shit. Because then he's going to start, like, hanging from the ceiling or something. You see that? Did you see that on their story?
No, I didn't, actually.
Crazy
I watched all of the Prada stories because I'm like, damn, they sound so good.
You got Prada brain. Yeah. Brain rot, bro. No, I saw fucking Garrett was just, like, just his legs were just hooked onto, like, a beam, maybe, like, 20 feet up in the air. I didn't even know how he got up there, but he was just doing his little screams upside down, and I was like, how do you get down? Like, what's the plan? How did you get up there?
And then what's the plan to get down? Yeah.
Didn't see that. They didn't show that, but
I'm sure
he's still on tour.
Yeah,
so
he made
it
down safely, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe he's just thugging it out the rest of the tour, you know, fucking broken rib or whatever. Yeah, I'm so excited for that. That's
a great tour package. That's going to be a great show. That tour is going to change your life. I know it's going to change mine, and it's going to change yours too. After that,
I mean, I've been hunting for Silent Planet all year. Like, ever since fucking Super Bloom came out, I've been like, I gotta see his fucking band. Every single tour, no Virginia. There would be a Virginia date, but it would say, there'd be a little symbol, and it would say, no Silent Planet. Yeah. And I'd go, hey,
not
why?
Cool.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Pissed.
Yeah.
But I'll travel for you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that tour will change your life. It's the hell omega of metal tours, in my opinion. So
I completely agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a great time. And then after that, even further in advance, I got Robbie the Used, which we'll be chatting about the record, games we play, possibly Deadlands, and I don't know how, but They Found Me, which will basically take me into Thanksgiving. And then, you know, from there we'll see what it's looking like. But
you mean thanks killing if you're a psycho. Oh, shout out Ice Nine Kills.
shout out Ice Nine Kills.
Shout out Ice Nine Kills.
But on that note, we've got a bunch of records to chat about, as well as some singles and an EP. You know, the whole kit and caboodle here. Kicking it off with Better Lovers dropped a new album, Highly Irresponsible, and this also kicks off the small portion of our Will Putney albums. A small portion.
Shout out Will Putney.
Yeah, a small portion of our episode today will be Will Putney records. We made sure to put them back to back,
but a portion nonetheless.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Yep.
He could have released a third one this week, but decided not to, and that's fine.
He's got enough bands to do that. And we'll obviously touch on it again, but we got to chat with Will about the new For An Autopsy record, which we'll be talking about next here. And if you're watching this as a separate review, the next review that comes out will be the For An Autopsy review.
Where we plug the same interview
in that review.
Yes. So just sit tight.
Yes. But Better Lovers, the new band on the block, quote unquote, came out of the Every Time I Die ashes. Good chunk of the band came together to form this new band, and we've been following them since day one. In that EP, I thought it was cool, but there was something about it that I couldn't grasp onto. I'm not entirely sure why. I thought that it was fucking rad, but I was just left me just being like, this is cool, and moving on.
Yeah.
But the album, we've been covering the singles. I've been slowly getting into it, and I don't know if it's a little bit more palatable. Like the mix on the EP was a little bit like more dirty and like grungy, whereas this is obviously the kind of music calls for that kind of mix, but this is cleaner in that scheme, in that scale. Which is a little bit nicer to my ears, and the songs themselves just feel a little bit more palatable in general. Like,
yeah, they seem a lot more like concise. It seems like they had a clearer idea and vision of like what they wanted the album to sound like, which is fair because it's an album, and usually, as we've said multiple times, EPs are kind of like, we're gonna chuck everything at you just to kind of see what you guys vibe with and then move from there. So with the album, it definitely does seem like they have just kind of like a clearer plan, I guess, of how it was gonna sound. So yeah, definitely more palatable for sure.
Yeah. And it comes through in the record. The single that really kind of did it in for me was At All Times, which is one of my favorites on the record. That was the single for me where I was like starting to turn a new leaf on the band and get into it a little bit more. But overall, I think this entire record, front to back, is insanely strong. It hits you with Lie Between the Lines, which is a fantastic opener, smacks the shit out of you immediately. And it doesn't slow down from there. It is exactly what you sign up for, which is just chaotic post-hardcore front to back and side to side. Yeah, I love the opener. As I said, I love At All Times, and I also really enjoy Superman Died Paralyzed. Absolute fucking banger. But yeah, definitely a lot more palatable, and I get the band now. I understand it. I'm into this record. I'm digging it big time.
I liked this record a lot. I do think the opener, the like 20-ish seconds of like silence kind of turned me off a little bit, and I was like, guys, it just started. Can we just like get the
show? Not be weird immediately.
Exactly. Can we just like do this shit? Yeah. But once we got past the 20 seconds, I say 20, that might be an exaggeration, that might be an underestimate. I don't know, somewhere in there. Once it gets started, I think it's incredible. My only nitpick is that it does have a slow track, and it's smack dab in the middle of the fucking record. Shout out Deliver Us from Life. Great song. I think it's great. It reminds me of Avenged Sevenfold, because it's kind of that classic dad rock vibe, just kind of how it sounds almost garagey as well. So I think that's great, but I think just wedging it between Future Mytopia and Drowning in a Burning World is such a curious choice. I don't know. I would have put it like obviously closer to the end. But I think it's a very great record. I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. It's definitely a lot more palatable, because it definitely sounded a lot messier and grungier and just dirty in the EP. But with this one, I feel like there's a lot more classic rock influence. There's a lot more metal influence, metalcore, and it's a little bit more God, what's the buzzword that all the metalcore bands love to use? It's melodic. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's very melodic as well. So it kind of like there are a lot of riffs and a lot more clean vocals than I remembered from the EP. So that made me very happy. Also, there were a couple riffs or something in this album that reminded me of 4 Years Strong, their new record. I know two completely different genres, but it's just kind of still that comparison of it seems like they're still like doing a lot of different things, but it's still coming out as a clear product instead of the EP where it just kind of felt discombobulated. So I liked it a lot. Thought it was great. Great album. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm super into this record. Will Putney actually produced the 4 Year Strong record. If you remember in the interview, if you remember in the interview, they were talking about how they only had so much time because it was pretty much butting up with the start of presumably the recording process for this album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would make sense because obviously Will played a part in producing the record and throwing his ideas at the wall in the album as well. So there you go. It's all coming together.
My ear is starting to be able to hear producers now, by the way, guys. I'm at that level. I'm
getting fine-tuned now.
I can be like, oh, did so-and-so produce this? Because I remember this. Maybe that's me now. I don't know. Fit for an Autopsy, shout out Will Putney, dropped their new album, The Nothing That Is. We sat down with Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy and Better Lovers, if you watched our last review, and to chat about this new record.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun, and it was a really good interview, and it was a big milestone for us. I think I can speak for both of us, where it was kind of like I texted
Gloria, I'm like, holy shit, we're interviewing Will Putney, and she's like, no fucking way.
No fucking way. I was like, the Will Putney. Yeah. It was like, god damn, dude. Like, okay.
There was no one being tattooed this time. And that is not a diss on Patrick at all. That was fucking badass.
It was just crazy to just join the call, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys mind if I tattoo something really quickly?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't think we have a say in this."
The fact that the interview actually happened and concise answers were given while he was actively tattooing someone was so fucking cool, and is still something we talk about as one of the craziest interview moments we've ever had. So we're not bringing that up at all in a negative way. It's just no one was tattooed this time. There was a dog. That was it.
It's just a fact. Yeah. It's no one was tattooed this time. I kind of wish someone was. Like, Will just fucking pulled out a fucking tattoo gun and just started. I don't know. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Another fucking record that is just balls to the wall crazy. Smacks you in the face immediately with Hostage.
Yeah.
And the Silver Sun, what a fantastic closer. But again, this band, a little bit more of like what you can expect going into it, because they've been doing it longer than the last record we just chatted about, and I'm only even slightly comparing it because Will Putney, we already said this is the Will Putney section of the podcast, but that's where the comparison ends, because they're obviously two different bands. It's just there's there's a sound expectation going into this record. This one connected with me more than the last record. We covered the last Fit for an Autopsy record as well, and obviously I enjoyed it, but I didn't find myself wanting to come back to it like this album. Like obviously we heard this record early because of the interview, and I found myself actually excited to dive into it again to kind of refresh my memory on it so that we could chat about it on here. And it's obviously very heavy, but I also find a lot of catchy moments, even though they're not quote unquote melodic, because it doesn't turn into clean vocals and a bouncy riff. It's not melodic, but I find myself with a lot of catchier moments on this record, and I enjoy that a lot. Some of my favorites are Savior of None, Ashes of All, as well as Lower Purpose, and Lower Purpose is one of those moments where I'm calling out one of those catchy, like, big moments where at the end of the song, you know, it kind of, the instruments kind of start to fade out and the vocals, you know, becomes like this chant towards the end, and I think that's so fucking cool. And the closer is one of my favorites as well. Will mentioned in the interview that he always spends a little bit more time on the closers for all of his albums, and it comes through on this track. There was, you know, it definitely ties everything together. Overall, I'm really into this album. I think it fucking rips. And you know, I'm strapped in on the Fit for an Autopsy train now.
For sure. This is typically not a record that I would pick up, as it is on the heavier side, and I do prefer I just love this buzzword, throw the melodic word out there. I do tend to like melodic music a lot more. But I thoroughly enjoyed this record. I completely agree with you. I do think it still somehow finds a way to have catchy moments, even though fucking they're just screaming in your face the entire time, but you're like, wait a minute, I could kind of tap my toe to this a little bit. It's kind of crazy.
I could actually understand what was said there, and I could sing that back at him.
Which is very rare, honestly. Like, half the time I didn't need, well, at some points I didn't need the lyrics in front of me. Me personally, you know, my ears are probably fucked from concerts, so I don't know. I won't chuck that up to just the screaming. I have to say that my favorites I have two favorites. Savior of None is my number 2, but then my number 1, my sweet baby, is the Nothing That Is. The title track, holy shit, smack dab in the middle of the record. That song is incredible. There is I'm pretty sure it's the Nothing It Is. It has an insane guitar solo in it closer to the end of the track, and it reminds me of Dan Sugarman's guitar playing, and I think he's one of the best guitarists in the metal scene right now. His shit is very clean, it is very intricate, and it is always just somehow poppy a little bit. I don't know how he manages to do it, but I think that guitar solo in the title track makes it. I think it is incredible. Honestly, just on the entire record, I think the guitars are fucking crazy. I don't know, the energy is great. I thoroughly really fucking liked this record a lot.
Yeah.
And go watch the interview.
Yes, go watch the interview. It was a good time. But yeah, this record rips, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it, because, like, you know, obviously you've had the shift where I basically bullied you into becoming a metalcore fan, but now you are slowly evolving. And
Metal
and not just sitting here and being like, damn, those drums were cool.
Now I'm like, damn, those guitars were
we're moving up in the world, because for a while, you know, I would put these heavier records on the podcast playlist, and Glory would be like, that was terrifying, but the drums were cool, and that would be her point.
Drums were fucking impressive. Yeah.
So,
because I mean,
she's moving up in the world. We're growing. We're growing as people on here.
You next. You go into rap next. Please. Come on. Oh my God.
Robbie the Used dropped his self-titled album titled Robbie the Used. Now, this is Burt McCracken from the Used, his solo project.
Really?
Never would have guessed. Never with the name Robbie the Used. You might need the clarification that it is Burt from the Used. It is his pop side project. This is not a continuation of the Used sound. This is something completely different. I'll let Glory take it away, because I saw her Instagram story earlier, and I'm like, she's into this record.
Dude, this record is so fucking good. I still stand by, he made Just a Little Bit for the girls. That's for us. Thank you. That song is so fucking good. I listened to it on loop when I only had like an hour left before the podcast, and I had to listen to like other shit and like review other shit, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna stay right here for just a little bit.
Yeah.
I fucking love this record so much. I think it is so fun. I think it is such a good genre for him to explore with his vocals, just because of how unique his voice is. I think it fits pop so very well, but it still has some elements and kind of like the structure of his rock songs, the used songs, because I mean, you've been in the band for so long, old habits are gonna fucking die hard.
Yeah.
So that's just how it's gonna be. So I think there's still a tiny bit of edge in this bubblegum pop ass shit, and I think it's fucking incredible. My favorite song off of the record is Just a Little Bit. Surprise, surprise. I think all of the singles were incredible, and I think he picked them perfectly because they did hook me in, and I was able to recognize them and go, oh, I like this one a lot. I remember this one. I fucking love Push Me, featuring Sierra Deaton. That could have also been a great single. I think it is, if Just a Little Bit was not on the record at all, because nothing can compete with Just a Little Bit, that is my baby. Push Me would be the best song off the record. I think it is an incredible feature. I think it's catchy as fuck. I think it's an ass shaker, a toe tapper. Genuinely, like, this album blew me away. It, like, surprisingly, I didn't think I was gonna be this into it. But I really fuck with it. Like, I love this shit so much. I need more of this. And I need him to come to Virginia so I can scream just a little bit, like, in his face. And he'll be like, you're a little too into this song. I'll be like, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. This is better than I expected it to be. The singles obviously were super cool, and you know, Bert is a fantastic vocalist and lyricist, you know, big fan of the Used over here, but this is a genre that we've never heard him do ever. You know, obviously the Used has taken on more clean singing, especially from Bert as the years have went on, and there's been some vocal problems due to the way he used to scream back on those old records. Turns out those hellish screams are not so good for your voice, and you know, and you can't do them for 20 years. So vocally, the band has taken a shift, although they have been going back into that heavy thing with other band members picking it up and features and yada yada. We can go into the band's history another day. But we've never heard him do pop music. No. So I always thought the premise of the project was interesting, and you know, for a while we didn't know what it was going to be. He was just putting out singles, and you know, it had no idea what it was going to turn into, and then it turned into an album, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. Awesome. Yeah, this record is fucking cool. You know, he just, the pop thing is done so well. You know, the songwriting is obviously there. Like, there's a reason why the Used have been doing it for so long, and it's not because they're terrible songwriters. You know, obviously they're all capable songwriters. Bert is part of that. So I expected nothing less from that, but he does a great job of writing really catchy pop songs. Terrible is a fantastic way to open the album. It is also incredibly catchy, but some of my favorites were actually non-singles, with Gold in the Ashes and Something You Can Count On towards the end of the album.
Shit.
And I think, again, The Feels is a fantastic way to close it. Really wraps it all together. But overall, very impressive stuff and incredibly catchy. This is something I will be revisiting, and also didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I had no qualms about Bert and his ability, but I just didn't know how it was going to translate, and it translates very, very well. Yeah,
I completely agree. I fucking love this record. I don't know, I really like this record. Good job, Bert.
Hell yeah. Now, he is taking the pop show to the stage for a handful of dates. If you're on the West Coast, there's 1 or 2 dates over there. And if you're on the East Coast, he's hitting the tri-state, Jersey, New York, and Philly. So you got a handful of opportunities to catch it. Don't know, you know, how often he's going to perform live with this side project. So if you got the opportunity to go, you should. It's also crazy to see, you know, him playing these very tiny rooms. All of the rooms are about 500 cap, where you know the Used obviously does a lot bigger. So I was planning to go before I heard the album, solely on the fact that, getting to see Bert from the Used in a 500 cap room is not something you get to see every day. But now, the icing on the cake is that the album is fucking incredible, and I'm stoked to hear most of, if not all of it, live. I don't know what else he could play besides the album, but I guess we'll find out.
Maybe a lot of covers.
The Used covers.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fucking dope, actually. Oh, what's this?
Oh, wow.
Tyler, the Creator, dropped his new album Chromacopia.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
We'll just let you take it away.
Go first. No, you go first.
No. I'm gonna let you go first, Glory. You got to make all your points. I can be like, I agree with that point. You spent a lot more time with this album than I did.
I've only listened to it like 4 times.
Exactly.
It's an hour long. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay. I'm gonna go track by track because I think that's gonna make it easier, and I'm gonna make it really brief.
Back.
Huh?
I'm gonna recline back.
I know. I'm just gonna go track by track because if I try to just give like a overall review, my brain's just gonna scramble and I'm just gonna repeat myself. So, the opener, Saint Chroma, I think it's fucking incredible. It reminds me a lot of the live opening of See You Again, which was always my favorite part of seeing that song live. It's, the left, right, left. It's the army shit or whatever, where you're marching. I think it's incredible. I like the big boom that it has, where it's just kind of like a boom, welcome to the fucking album. It's gonna be crazy. I think going from Saint Chroma into Rat-Tat-Tat-Tat is incredible. Not the Electric Callboy baby metal song, unfortunately. Yeah. This song is incredible. Track 2 is great. It used to be my favorite. It's been switching around all day, so that's where I've been. I think it's incredible. I think it's sassy. I love it so fucking much. This song is so fun. It was in the preview when he dropped the vinyl, which I got. But it was in the preview and it gave me hope. I sent it to Shane and I was like, the album's gonna be good. It's fine.
She did.
We're saved. Yeah. Because I was so worried with the next track that we're gonna go into. You see that? Noid. So in the context of the record, I have completely pulled a 180. I do like this song a lot because I think having Saint Chroma to Rat-Tat-Tat to Noid and then Darling I, it makes sense. It's this album is definitely a lot more experimental. It's a lot more artsy. It's a lot more out of the box, which I think is fucking awesome. I was talking to my brother about this, but I do believe that it is very similar, not topic wise, not fully sound wise or lyrically or visually, but just kind of like ear candy wise and like sonically, it's very similar to Igor, which is his 2019 album, his biggest album, I think. I don't know, maybe Call Me If You Get Lost broke that record. I don't fucking know. It's his most popular record. So that gave me a lot of comfort because I was like, I do fuck with Igor a lot. It's not my favorite, but I fucking love it. So Noid, in the context of the record, was a great song, and I really fucking like it now. I like how just classic sounding it is. It sounds like it was ripped from like the 90s, and I can appreciate that now. Darling I is just a fucking love song. I think it's great. I think it's a little sad. And then it goes into Hey Jane, which is as a lot to unpack. He's talking about potential pregnancy with a woman he doesn't really know that well, and it's kind of the should we do this, or should I be in the kid's life? Do you want the kid? Do I want the kid? Just kind of like that whole back and forth, which seems like it. I mean, I feel like for anyone, it would be kind of fucky, like at all. So that was a lot. I Killed You is fucking incredible. I think it is just sonically for this whole record, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be like really hype because we just came from Call Me If You Get Lost, which was a rap album. So there are going to be a lot more big beats, a lot more kind of like sassy bars, just kind of like shit like that, because he's like, guys, I'm rich, fuck you, fuck everyone who said that I'm not gonna make it, and fuck you, I have 2 Rolls Royces. So that was like the premise of like Call Me If You Get Lost, but this one is like looking more internally, I think, just kind of like unpacking a lot of shit that's been going on in his life. And he's like, hey guys, I'm gonna be personal really quickly, even though I hate doing this, but I need to get this shit out. So I Killed You is great. something that I think I need more time with to kind of like fully process. Again, I wish he released this on Friday because
You'd
I
have
need more
all
time.
your thoughts.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I'm doing my goddamn best right now. Judge Judy is so fucking sad. It is a song about a woman that he connected with on just every level and felt comfortable with, and then at the end of the song it's revealed that she killed herself and that was just it, and she left him a note and he was like, oh fuck, that's like that's the last time I'm gonna fucking see her.
Yeah.
So that shit fucking sucks. Great song. I could kind of tell just by the vibe as soon as it started. I was like, oh, this is up to no good.
Yeah.
No good. Some bad shit's gonna fucking happen. And then it did. Then such a strange shift. We go from Judge Judy, which is a song about losing a friend to suicide, to then Sticky. Sticky is incredible. It has a Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Lil Wayne feature.
I picked up on the Sexy Red feature.
For the first time ever, I'm on board with a Sexy Red feature. I don't know. It hit me and I went, wait a minute, Tyler, I need you to coach her some more because she might have potential. I think it's really cool because in a way it's kind of like, you know, Wayne, who is a massive figure in the rap scene, kind of like almost passing the torch to the new generation of hip hop and rap. And I think that's so fucking cool with Glorilla and Sexy Red on the track. Glorilla's verse and Tyler's verse are my favorite, but I really like Wayne's flow. And just how he doesn't close off the track, but he's like the second to last verse, not counting Tyler. Counting Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Great song. Really fucking like it. I'm gonna fucking go through these next ones really quickly. Take Your Mask Off is great. I think it calls out the rap scene, internalize homophobia, internalize fucking everything, honestly. Misogyny, just like living a lie, that type of shit. I think he did it very tastefully, and almost like he like pities them. He's like, dude, this isn't you shouldn't be doing this shit. I fucking love how he did that. Tomorrow is really sad because it's kind of his debate on hey, my parents are getting old and they want me to have a kid, but I kind of like my life right now, but at the same time, should I have a kid because I'm getting pretty old? So it's just kind of like that sad internal debate that he's been having. I think it's great. I think he did it great. Thought I Was Dead, hype as shit, love it a lot. Like him, sad as fuck. Turns out his dad wanted to be in his life, even though like the last like 5 records that he made, he's always had like a song where it's been like, fuck you, dad, you've never been in my life, you never wanted to be. And now he's revealed that apparently his mom didn't want his dad in his life, even though his dad wanted to be in his life. And that kind of broke my brain a little bit because one of my favorite songs is Answer off of Wolf by Tyler. And it's a song about Tyler like calling his father and just cussing him out and just being like, fuck you, you never supported me, you never wanted to be in my life. And now I'm like, oh, that didn't age very well. Yikes. Balloon is great. It has Doechii as a feature. And I think she's awesome. It's really poppy and kind of like weird on the album, but I kind of fuck with it. I don't know, it's fun. And then I Hope You Find Your Way Home is a great closer. It's very sad, but it's nice and it's hopeful, and it's just kind of like a, hey, we've had our time, but it's time for us to, you know, fucking dip. There's also a song on here, I'm pretty sure it was Like Him. No, fuck. It was somewhere over there. There's a song on here that has very, very strong Steve Lacy vibes. And every time I hear it, I think it's off of Gemini Rights, his most recent record. And it makes me very happy. I think it's Mercury, that song that I'm thinking about. If someone on here knows what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my review. That wasn't a review. I think it's a great record. I think it's really weird, and I think it bounces around on a lot of different sounds, but somehow is still very cohesive. I think he tells a lot of important stories about his life on this record. I think it was very personal. I like the visuals. I like the rollout, and yeah, big fan.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I could have only gathered that from the track by track. I don't think you would have done that if you hated it.
No, I would have. I would have been like, so I hate this song because
So as a non-Tyler fan of the bunch here,
unbiased,
I was not a fan of Noid at all. I was like, what the actual fuck is this guy doing? And as I said, when we talked about it, I could have seen it as an opener or a closer, not what is it, track 3 on here?
Track 3, yeah.
Overall, I think the album's incredibly solid, and I found myself enjoying it a lot more than I expected based on the taste of the record that we got. I wasn't watching the clips and all that shit. All of the rollout. Like I'm not a Tyler fan, so my only taste of the record was Noid. No, Glory, you're totally normal about this, and totally didn't send me a list of 10 tour dates. You're like, I gotta hit all these.
I'm going to all of these. Are you
going on tour with him?
I'm going to 2. I'm going to 2 now.
Like, what the fuck? In my opinion, Noid is the weakest song on the record. Does it make sense in the context of the record? That's my favorite line. Absolutely, yes, it does make sense in the context of the record, but it is absolutely the weakest song on the album. Sure. And basically the entire time while I was listening to the record and hearing how great the rest of these songs were, I'm like, and why exactly did you pick this as the only single? Because it's not even like it's setting the tone for what the album is going to talk about, because there's plenty of other songs on here that would have done that. It was just I don't think we'll ever have the answer for that. I honestly liked how experimental the album was, and that it wasn't just a straight up rap album. I had moments of Call Me If You Get Lost that I enjoyed, but I found myself enjoying this album a lot more because it felt like it had some more like R&B moments on it as well. Like I found myself picking up on like some like Weekend stuff, as well as, oddly enough, Justin Timberlake, like Future Sex Love Sounds. I was picking up some
he probably fucks with Justin Timberlake, so that's great.
Some parts of like that album on here as well. And obviously I like those two artists, so whether or not those were influences, picking up on those for me is big because I enjoy those artists. But yeah, overall I found myself enjoying this record a lot more, as I said, than I expected to. And I think he knocked it out of the park with this one. I enjoy this a lot more than Call Me If You Get Lost, although I think that's a great record. I think that, a little bit more experimental, a little more weird, a little more all over the place, and not kind of sticking to one lane and changing it up a little bit within that lane, instead just getting weird with it, makes this album...
He got freaky with this one.
Yeah, makes this album... really cool and a fun listen, because there is, like, besides Noid, there's not none of the songs does he get weird and then fail at doing whatever he's attempting.
I'm telling you.
He knocks it out of the park with everything. So like he got experimental, but also hit a grand slam home run every time he did, which chalks it up for a pretty solid record overall. So yeah, I enjoyed it. That's the non-biased opinion of the record on the
Holy
podcast.
Shit, you did that shit.
Glory posed the question to me before we started this. She was like, what did you think of the album? And then immediately he goes, no, don't tell me yet. I don't want to
hear it.
Yeah. I should have told her I thought it sucked.
Yeah, and then I would fucking reach through the screen and you would just go
yeah. But overall, album was great. He announced the tour. Glory's going. The pre-sale will have already, like, when we're recording this, pre-sale starts tomorrow, but pre-sale and probably on sale will have already happened by the time this goes up. If it's coming near you, you should go. I'm sure the tickets are gonna fucking fly. I won't even be looking. I don't want to know what's going on over there, but I'm sure I'll hear about it. The horrors from Glory.
Hey man, if you want to grab that jersey, Dave, I'll grab a train. I'm just saying, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm not excited for that.
Instant Crush dropped their new album. I'm sorry I didn't bite my tongue. Hypothetically speaking, we may or may not have talked to this band about this album, and it may or may not have been a great conversation that comes out in a couple of weeks. this album is fucking awesome. I love bands that sparkly, shiny, feel good instrumentals, and even the way that the vocals and the lyrics are delivered, and then you listen and you're like, holy shit,
wait a minute,
yeah,
I'm really sad.
Because it allows you to have these multiple different experiences while listening to records, because obviously when I'm reviewing, sitting down to listen to the playlist, to take in the records, to chat about them on here, I'm listening to everything. But when I'm listening to music in my free time, not all the time do I want to be, pulled into this like thought-provoking headspace of like pondering my thoughts and feelings. I got, I'll do that before I go to bed, not while I'm just enjoying my music to enjoy my music. So a record like this allows you to have those multiple different listening experiences. You can listen to this while you're doing whatever and brainlessly take it in. It's a fun listen, or you can turn it on during that pondering session right before bed when you're thinking about everything, and this is the perfect soundtrack for that.
So that's how they should have answered our question in the hypothetical potential interview of how do you recommend your fans to listen to this record? They should have been like, ponder, heavy. This record is immaculate, honestly. Just listening through start to finish, I think it is such a fun sound. I don't understand why they're not like genuinely like massive. I hope this record does it for them, because they have such a sound, such a very clean sound that I feel like a lot of people could and will gravitate towards. My favorite is All Your Friends, and then I also really fucking like Apology Tour. Both of those tracks are fucking incredible. Again, it's just, I've recommended this album already to I think like 3 or 4 people, because they've asked me, they've been like, hey, what, for whatever reason, people send me like one song and then they're like, can you find me shit that sounds more like this? So then I go, okay, yeah, sure, I'm not doing fucking anything else. So then I go, and I've already sent this album like 3 times, that's how much I fuck with this album, because I'm like, you guys I'm
gonna start sending you stuff. Obviously I would know exactly what you're gonna pull from, but just to fuck with you, because obviously I know you've got all the time in the world.
Oh yeah, no, I just have so much time to spare. It's awesome. It's so great. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of this record. I think it's a great sound. I think they nail that kind of like grungy pop vibe, I guess, if to put it in a weird box. I don't even know if that's accurate, but I know pop is in there somewhere.
Definitely.
It's pop rock, alt pop, something pop. I think it's great. And I completely agree. It's that thing where it's like, oh, la 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 la, this sounds great, and then you kind of like peek at the lyrics for a second, and you're like, oh shit, I'm really sad now. Yeah, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Shit's going down. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Tug of War. I think the chorus on that song is fucking infectious and it's so good. And I'm also a fan of Apology Tour. Those are my 2 favorites on the record. But yeah, overall incredibly solid. Hope to see more of this band. I think this record's going to do big things for them, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Hoping to see them over here on the East Coast, because I definitely want to catch them live. And keep your eyes peeled for that hypothetical potential interview that we may or may not have done with the band. God, that bit is so old.
It's so old, but I love doing it every time. It's just it's like our inside joke that's for everyone. It's great. It makes me really happy. Gore dropped their new EP, A Bud That Never Blooms. Holy fucking punching me in the face, Batman. That opening track is fucking insane. And then it kind of like levels out a little bit for the rest of the record. It's kind of like bam, 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 and then it's like, all right, guys, we're like kind of chill now.
Yeah.
But it's still heavy as shit. But goddamn, I can't get past that first track. It's like a completely different record, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like it would have fit on a completely different record. But I would like to see if they kind of like dip their toe in like anything heavier than, the rest of the record. I would like to see that. Big fan though. Liked it a lot.
Oh yeah. We got to chat with Haley about the EP. It is out now. It came out on the release day of the EP, actually, funnily enough. I think that this is fucking incredible. I would honestly like put the tracks on this record in like two separate boxes, where you've got Prey and Babylon a little bit like over in that one box, where like you just get punched in the fucking face. Like Babylon has heavy verses and then has that big like almost like orchestral kind of chorus on it.
Yeah.
And then Doomsday, Angels Like You, and Heaven Is Above Me, which is like a little bit more peaceful, in light terms, peaceful for the kind of for the kind of record we're talking about here, which is a metalcore EP. Peaceful, you know, not in your face. You're not getting the shit beat out of you, but it really does take this trajectory of like this and then kind of level out for the last two. But yeah, I think that this EP does a great job of showcasing what the band, you know, the different sounds that the band is capable of, and you know, people are eating it up. This band has been popping the fuck off pretty much since the first single. And yeah, I think, you know, it's a good taster palette, you know, showcasing what the band is capable of, and I'm excited to see them expand on what they're showing on the EP, as well as hopefully doing new things on a next EP or an album, whatever's to come. But I think that this is a fantastic first project for the band, and I am stoked to be following along. You know, they just finished up their first their first tour out there supporting Within the Ruins, and I'm excited to see them over here on the East Coast. You know, I think it's only a matter of time before this band blows up. They've already got a shitload of hype behind them, and I'm excited to see where things go.
I completely agree. Damn right.
Oh yeah.
Damn right.
RedHook dropped their new single Bomb.com. This is a fucking ripper, bro.
Dude, I love this band so much. It's crazy. I accidentally put all of their singles that they've released on the playlist. And then I removed it because I was like, oh, that's embarrassing. But I listened to all of them because I was like, oh, did they drop their... Nothing was dropped. Nothing was dropped.
Album comes out in a couple weeks, though. Handful
exactly.
Of weeks.
Fingers, you know, I'm just happy. I was going to say fingers crossed, but it's like promised. So I don't...
It's announced.
There's nothing to hope for. Yeah. So, hearing it next to all the other tracks, it just made me even more excited for this record, because you're telling me they got more shit. It's crazy. I love this song a lot. I love this band. I love the vocals. Emmy's vocals have become like one of my favorite vocals like on the scene. I love just kind of like how, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I just fucking love it. That's it. If you don't fucking love it, fuck you. That's all I have to say. Respectfully. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I like this song a lot. I really did. I love this band.
Oh yeah.
Grayscale dropped their new single, Kept Me Alive. Shout out Grayscale. I fuck heavy with Grayscale.
Yeah, this track fucking rips. I'm very, very excited for this album. And this single's another fucking banger. Album drops at the end of January, and it can't get here soon enough.
No, that's a long time. Okay. Yeah, no, I liked this song a lot. Before I listened to the full track, I saw like a shit ton of teasers for it. So I was already singing along to the song by the time I got to the full thing. But I liked it a lot. Yeah, hell yeah. Great song. Good job, Grayscale.
Skylar Accord dropped his new single, End of Everything. This is different. It's groovy. It's dancey. I'm into it.
Yeah, it's groovy. It's dancey. It's very fucking nostalgic too.
Oh yeah.
Like it feels like a pop track that you'd hear in like the early 2000s. Fuck with it.
Even the cover art and the color scheme on the cover art gives that nostalgic feeling to it. I'm really into this single. You know, Skylar, fantastic musician, and has crushed everything that we've heard from him so far. But this single in particular is one of my favorites.
I completely agree. This is one of the really fucking good ones.
Hell
Nailed it. Hollow Front dropped their new single, Cast Out.
Another fucking ripper from Hollow Front. They got it. They have a full band now. It's not just two members. It was two members with the last record, and you know it's been a while, but that they've had a full band together, but we never actually mentioned it on here. So they've got two more members now, which fills out the band. And the singles so far have been fucking rippers, and this is no exception.
Yeah, damn right. I fucked heavy with this song. I'm very excited to see what else they got up their silly little sleeves. And yeah, damn right.
Oh yeah. Knuckle Puck dropped their new single On All Cylinders, dropping this one ahead of their tour with State Champs that starts here in a little bit, right around the time that's the State Champs record comes out, which is next week. Yeah. So yeah, I like this song. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the playlist, like track wise. I was actually sitting on the train coming home from New York City yesterday. And so I didn't have the track in front of me. And as soon as it came on, I'm like, that is Knuckle Puck. So that's my review. This is Knuckle Puck. That's is the definition of Knuckle Puck. I turned this on and I knew instantly what band it was. They've got that signature, like they're obviously pop punk, but they have their own signature version of that, having been in the scene so long. And this song is just the definition of that.
Of Knuckle Puck. Yeah. Yeah, damn right. I really like this song a lot. I enjoy Knuckle Puck. Big fan, actually. They're a band that I've been meaning to like really get into, but I always just enjoy seeing them on the playlist. It's always like, oh, little Knuckle Puck today. Okay, I see what's going on. So yeah, big fan. Big fan. Ginger dropped the new single, Kafka.
Yes, they did, and they announced their upcoming record dropping early 2025. Can't believe we're already getting into the 2025 releases here. But this single fucking rips. I am very excited about this upcoming album. You know, this rollout is what's been getting me into the band, and I'm excited to see what the full album sounds like and whatever additional tastes we get leading up to that.
Yeah, damn right. I fuck with Ginger heavy. This single is no exception. Really enjoyed it. Very excited for that record. I would love to dive into a Ginger record. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Not Enough Space dropped their new single, Primitive. I've known about this band for a little bit because I saw them open for Attila when they were still an unsigned band. It was like their first full U.S. tour. They got like 20 minutes. They played like 4 songs. Wow. And I thought they fucking ripped. And since then, now they're signed to Thriller Records, which is fucking awesome. Super cool to see. Because that was only earlier this year. They only had a handful of singles out, and now they're signed to Thriller. They're out touring with The Funeral Portrait. Very, very cool to see. I think that this song fucking rips, and I'm very excited to see what comes next, because typically you don't sign to a label and then drop a single and then fuck off. So I'm hoping for an EP or an album at some point, because I've been following this band for a while, patiently waiting to see their next move.
Damn right. This was one where it popped up, and I was like, "This is Shane's fucking pick of the week."
But I have a reason they signed to Thriller.
Had a reason. Yeah, you had there you go. You had like an actual reason.
I wasn't just having fun.
Yeah, you were just like, what if we just talked about this randomly? I really liked this track a lot, and I'm very excited to continue to follow them. I love fucking new bands. I love just listening to them and going, oh, damn, this has just been out there the whole time. That was the experience that I had with this one. Very excited. Guys, I hope you have an EP album coming out very, very soon. I'll be listening.
Hell yeah.
Sleep Theory dropped their new single, Paralyzed. Oh, I said it like that. It's fun. Yes, I don't regret it.
Yes, sir. This single was fucking awesome. This is the second single now of whatever is to come. They're dropping singles, and again, although this day and age, sometimes bands do just drop singles, but they're stacking on Spotify. The vibe, the cover arts are not the same, but similar vibes. Picking up what I'm putting down. This fucking single rocks. They will be out later this year supporting Daughtry. I might have to be there, for Sleep Theory, because it's been a minute since I've seen them. Beginning of this year, actually. But yeah, this single fucking rocks. Big fan of this band.
Big fan. Really enjoyed this. I mean, it's a fucking Sleep Theory song. It's gonna be fucking good. Come on, like their shit's always fucking good.
Bingo.
Really enjoyed this track a lot. Yeah, really excited. I hope I am picking up what you're putting down, and I hope they're like, yeah, no, that's right. There's something big things coming.
Big things coming. Hopefully.
Big things.
We don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Traders dropped their new single release. They announced their upcoming record February 21st, 2025. We're in the 2025 officially. with that one. Fucking ripper. I mean, exactly what I expect when I turn on Traders. I expect to get absolutely fucking pummeled, and that's what happened here. This track is no exception. It fucking rips. I am excited for this album.
Yeah, I started listening to this song, and somehow, like, my nose was broken. It was crazy.
It
like,
started bleeding.
Yeah, I was just, like, bleeding, like, everywhere. And I was like, what the oh, Traders is playing. Okay. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought this song fucking rocked. I loved it a lot. Yeah, great. I mean, my nose started bleeding and is broken right now. So
gotta go get that fixed.
Linkin Park dropped their new single, Over Each Other.
This is an interesting one.
I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't really fucked with like any of the new Linkin Park songs, but did I ever fuck with Linkin Park? No. But that's all I have to say. I have like no other comment. This
was an interesting one because I thought it was cool. It very much spotlighted Emily this time around, whereas like the Emptiness Machine. Obviously, that was the point of that song to showcase her, whereas the last single before this one was a little bit more of the back and forth, was a little bit more mic heavy, and this time around it was pretty much all Emily, and I think the song is cool. But it's the most like out of left field out of the singles. The other ones have been very much like Linkin Park. This one is a little bit weird, and that's all right. The album's got range, is what we've learned, and I continue to be excited for this album. This is also the single I've spent the least amount of time with going into the review, so I haven't digested it enough to sit here and be like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Even though I wasn't a Linkin Park fan until a month and a half ago.
I was gonna say.
So yeah, but I like the song, but it's the most out of left field so far. Remain excited for the album. So that is all the topics we have today. You can follow us on Twitter. It's Good Noise for Noise Podcast. Instagram is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube, Good Noise Podcast. All your streaming services, guess what? Good Noise Podcast. And Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Chloe's got your Patreon supporters, your Twitch subs, your important plugs, your fucking Amazon storefront plug, your merch plug, and then we're going to sign off.
Check out our Amazon storefront. It is in the description. It has all of our equipment. It has our mics. It has our cameras. It has our lights. It has our chairs, I think. I'm pretty sure I put my chair up there. I think. I don't know.
Mine's a Staples chair, so it's not in there.
I think mine is too, so I don't think it's there. Other shit is there. Yeah. Headphones, all that stuff. Check out our spring store. Merch, hoodies, hats, coats. We might have put a blanket up there for fun. I don't think we actually went through on that. The idea was there though. It is goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. It helps us a lot to keep it going, and that'd be great if you could check it out. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, Matt from Pulses, Zari, Pop Punk Apologist, David Arrington, Tyson from Heal the Hurt, and Eric. And thank you to our Twitch sub, Matt, again from Pulses. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Important plugs: Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, Free Palestine, Ceasefire, Be a Decent Person, vote in the upcoming election. It is November. Well, actually, you're able to vote now. You're able to mail in your ballot. You're also able, I'm pretty sure you could do early in-person voting as well in select cities and just sections. So if you're able to do that and you're unavailable on the 4th or 5th, I'm pretty sure it's the 5th. 5th is see. On the 5th, you can mail in, or you can just go early. Do that. Very important election. Let's not. Okay? Yeah. Period. Yeah. Be a decent person and support local bands, or just bands in general. Pick a band, support it.
Yep.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's all we have today. I have been Shane.
I've been Gloria.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.